Hello, what's happening, people? Doug Cunnington here, and this is going to be a quick update. So, number one, I haven't done a live stream in a little while. I think I owe some folks an apology, a little bit, just because I haven't shown up, and I took a little time off. Had my parents visiting; they were in town for a few days, which was great over my birthday. Recently turned 40, so just took a few days off and I was like, hey, I'm going to see what happens if I don't post anything on YouTube. YouTube is a bit of a treadmill of like just pumping out content. I was like, hey, I want to see what happens if I do not do that. And holy cow, there's like 14 people here, all of a sudden 17. What is happening? I thought we were just going to do a quick little update. So I got a few things to mention. This is just really an update, and then there's a couple key points that I want to point out. I want to try and find like the notes that I typed up, the links that I put in the description here. So that may take me just a second here as I fumble through this. So number one, I had a guest post go live over on KWFinder, their blog. That is the tool that I've been featuring here recently. So I did a pretty beefy guest post. They have the how long it takes you to read kind of metric at the top. 31 minutes is what it clocked in at. So I do long form stuff, apparently. So it's long form. It's a demo. I show results, and then I show you how to find some KGR tools with KWFinder. I'm an affiliate for KWFinder. If you follow my link and sign up, I appreciate it. And I also get a commission if you become like a paid customer and that sort of thing. However, I will tell you they have a freemium model. So if you sign up, you can get some access. I think it's a few searches a day. I'm not sure what it is currently, but you get a few searches a day. So I encourage you to check it out. Even if you don't want to sign up, I think it is a fine post. And I'd appreciate it if you checked it out. And leave a comment in there. Let the people at Manghoul's Tools, I think that's it rhymes, apparently. That's nice. Let them know that you read the article and you enjoyed it. If you've used the KGR, you should hop over there, leave a comment and say, hey, the KGR works. I used it myself, that sort of thing. We got some folks in the audience here. We got J.E., we got Papoon, we got Hiking Gear, we got Terry, what's up? Doing well today. We got Jeremy as well. So second thing I want to cover, I'll tell you all the things that I'm going to talk about today. So one, KWFinder and my guest post over there. And let me try and find this. Let me find the notes. It's like a new like live streaming view over here. And it's hard for me to see certain pieces of information which are helpful for me. Okay, I got it now. I got my notes here now. All right, number two, big stuff coming out next week. So one of the reasons I didn't publish any videos for the last week or two is one, I'm lazy. Two, I was working on some other shit. So some of the other shit that I'm working on is the Ron Stefanski interviews. Those are queued up. Next week on Monday morning, I'm going to publish that interview. We just chat. We hear a story. On Thursday, I'm going to publish the second interview with Ron, and it's Q&A. And remember a couple weeks ago, everybody, when I said, hey, I'm going to talk to Ron. What do you want me to ask him? And then I got like 60 questions or something like that. Though that's a whole other episode, because once I started talking to Ron, our interview lasted over an hour. And I was like, hey, we're going to have to do a separate episode for the Q&A because so many people asked questions. So that is coming out Thursday. Keep your eyes open for that. If you like podcasts, keep your ears open. It will also be published on Monday and Thursday on the podcast. If you are not subscribed to the podcast, check it out, Doug.show. All right. So those are the first two things. If you missed the first sort of feature of Ron from the 1 Hour Professor, I put a link in the description for that video. In the punchline, it's generally that he started making zero money and now he's making about $16,000 to $17,000 a month. Not a fluke. He's been doing it, you know, all year long. So he's, you know, he's consistent. And then he started in 2014, and he started at zero and slowly grew over time. This is not an overnight thing. It's a 4 to 5 year journey that he went on, and you should definitely check it out. All right, next thing we got going on, there was an article in Fast Company, and it was titled "Google May Be About to Kill Affiliate Marketing Links." And that was published on Monday. A lot of people got very excited about it. Several people sent me emails in my in the course that I have. We have a private Facebook group, and there was a little chatter there. And it's a sexy headline. There's a link to the original article, by the way. The headline again is "Google May Be About to Kill Affiliate Marketing Links." And then it's a 3-minute read article. And generally, it opens this way. I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course. But the important part to set the context is this. A recent report, this is quote, a recent report from The Information, which is a paywalled site, writes about Google's ambitious shopping efforts. In its attempt to compete with Amazon, whose digital ad program is showing real signs of encroaching on the Google-Facebook ad duopoly, Google has been adding retailers to its Express Shopping, which reportedly will be rebranded to Google Shopping. And then it goes on to show an example of the SERPs. If one were to type in best ballpoint pen, maybe there are a few shopping ads at the top, along with some other results, rich snippets, all that kind of fun stuff, right? So if you have paid attention, if you've been doing internet marketing for a little while, and you're an SEO type, you probably know that that's kind of been done for the past several years. Google is running tests all the time, and it's not consistent across SERPs or keywords or anything. They just test stuff and see how it works out. Now, my argument, this is the post that I wrote in my own Facebook group here. And my good friend Dom Wells mentioned that it's a quote, this is exactly what Dom said, it's a really badly researched article. And I hopped in and I said, I agree with Dom. It looks like they reference another article that Google is missing their earnings in the latest report by about $1 billion. And then the author, the writer of the article, speculates about what they're seeing in the SERPs and what it means. Now, like I said, Google is always testing something, and the example that they give doesn't look like groundbreaking or unusual or different to me. Now, I'm just one person. It's just my opinion. Now, I think the headline is pretty solid. It says Google may be killing affiliate marketing, which is a huge, it's a huge industry, right? A lot of people are interested in it. And I think a lot of people, well, we're lazy. We read the headline and we share the article. I got a lot of emails about it. People got very excited. But I don't think there's anything new in there. And let me give you a little example. So yesterday, I was trying to research how I could hook up 2 monitors with my MacBook. So I was searching for a dual monitor mini display port adapter, and I was trying to figure out what to do. By the way, didn't quite figure it out. There's a lot of products out there. They got these Thunderbolt 2, Thunderbolt 3, USB-C, USB 2. There's too much stuff, and I don't know what's going to work. I don't want to spend $200 just so I could have 2 monitors here, and maybe it's not going to work. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is if someone is trying to buy something from the SERPs, they will probably search for something a little bit different than if they're trying to do research and get information. In my opinion, people are usually trying to get information, and that is the kind of keyword that I'm typically going for. I'm usually not going for buy immediately from the SERPs. I don't need any more information. I'm not going for that kind of stuff. Now, I'm just one dude sitting in a room at my laptop, sometimes talking to myself when I'm recording a podcast, other times talking to good folks like you. but I could be 100% wrong, and I'm speculating. I don't have any other information. Now, the writer of the article from Fast Company, they said they tried to get answers from Google. They were asking questions about it, and they got no answer, right? And Google has no advantage talking to some reporter on Fast Company. But, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything new here. This isn't new information. It's just some observation from one person and no other information, right? It's like they read an article, they Googled a couple things, and then they wrote a post on Fast Company about it. Again, no new information. There's no like references to anything else aside from the paywalled article, all right? And I guess my final conclusion, and this is again what I wrote in the in my Facebook group over here, which is private as part of the course. I wrote, if this article scares some people away from Amazon associates, that's great. That's actually less competition for the folks that are sticking around. Now, if Google does something with this and they actually, end affiliate marketing as we know it, then the skills that we have as affiliate marketers will translate to other marketing. So I'm not really that worried. Things change. Things always change, and we kind of have to pay attention to what's going on. But I think in this case, there's not really any kind of new information. All right. So thanks folks for hopping on here. We'll chat just for a moment here. There's some questions here. Something, I don't know, if someone needs help. All right. Okay. Oh, and M Vroom says, I agree. It was making a mountain out of a molehill. And Yuhara says, you just came. What do I mean by Google maybe about to kill affiliate links? So yeah, just if you missed it, you may want to rewind and listen to what I just said. And cool. Thanks everyone for hopping on. Let me see if there's anything else I need to talk about before we leave here. Oh yeah, a couple more things. So I put a link in here for stage 1 versus stage 2 thinking. That's by Chris Pearson of DIY Themes. Now, one of the other things that I've been working on is just more interviews. So this past week, I did like 3 interviews, 2 pretty high level folks. So one is Chris Pearson, which I didn't realize how accomplished he is and was in the WordPress ecosystem. So it was awesome to chat with him. And we did like an hour interview. This is going to come out in a couple weeks, by the way. We did like an hour interview, and then we actually had a lot of stuff in common. So we just like stopped recording and kept chatting. But I put a video in by Chris. I encourage you to check it out. Again, stage 1 versus stage 2 website thinking. A lot of the stuff that I've kind of been talking about with themes, Chris has put this much more eloquently through a lot of his content in the past 6 months or so. And I reached out to him because I'm a user of Thesis and DIY Themes, and I've been a fan. I use it at Niche Site Project. So I was just like, hey, Chris, I like what you're talking about. You want to do an interview? And he agreed. Like I said, I didn't realize how accomplished he was. So, okay. Then the other thing, 2 other things I'll mention. So I am currently drafting up an article because I was audited by the Amazon Associate Program. Those emails they send out every now and then. It says like action required, your Amazon Associate account. First line is, your Amazon Associate account is at risk for being shut down. Anyone ever received that? So I got one of those. It's a big deal. All right. You got 5 days to respond. It's very dramatic. You get a very extremely tiny, small amount of information about what they want. And if you try and get some help on like what they actually mean, it's not very detailed. I'll put it that way. So I'm drafting up a post and I'm going to write it, right? So I'm going to write it. It's not going to be a video, at least not in the short term. So it'll be on nichesiteproject.com and should be coming out next week. So if you are not on my email list, I highly recommend that you go to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, name, email address, and you'll be aware. If you don't like emails, just go to nichesiteproject.com next week and you should be able to find it. Okay. What else? What else is going on? So I was absent for a little while. I know that we got a lot more people on here now. So I was absent for a little while, took some days off. I had family in town. Kind of wanted to see what happened if I wasn't publish anything on YouTube. Turns out the sky does not fall. Everything's fine. I also published some awesome articles over at Niche Site Project, which were from contributors. They're actually, so far, they're like students of the course and or success stories, which is very cool. So folks like Marty, Graham, published over the last couple of weeks and people enjoyed it. Actually, I like having the fresh take on some of the content out there. Evan's on. I see Evan's on. Actually, Evan is, I got to hook up your account, my friend. But Evan's going to be writing one as well. So I try to find people that were doing cool stuff that have like real results from their own experiences, since at times I do get tired of talking about myself, though it seems hard to believe. All right. So we got the KGR post over at KWFinder. Definitely check that out. We have some exciting stuff coming out next week, the Ron articles. And then finally, in a couple weeks, very soon, I will be relaunching my course. It's called 5-Figure Niche Site. And if you're interested in getting the framework, a proven framework to research, start an Amazon affiliate site, and then grow it, that is the course for you. All right. So I'm going to have a quick look in the chat and see if we have any great questions. Some people are asking how I am. Doing pretty well today. I didn't feel that awesome yesterday, but I feel much better today. I got some rest. I actually took a nap and I slept for over 8 hours last night. People say they like the video. That's great. Thank you. Bruce, what's going on? Thanks, Terry, for hopping on. Gaz is back here. JVlog says, why dual screen from a laptop? Well, I could, of course, use the laptop screen, but I was interested in just having like two identical monitors. And I think I have a 24-inch right here. And I was like, maybe it would be easier to have two 24-inchers that are like perfectly aligned instead of having to like prop up my laptop or something. But I may just end up doing the laptop deal. Some people are asking, let's see, Tiempo is asking about KGB for YouTube. I wouldn't really worry about it much. People don't search as much on YouTube. All right. Most of your views are coming from somewhere else, but sure, you could use that idea. I'll weigh in what's happening. MD, best keyword research tools name. All right. Well, I said KWFinder like 14 times. I would check that one out. Okay. Auto 24/7 mentions that Income School said that KGR is not working. Okay. So don't use it. Use something else that you think works. I would advise you that it could be a tool that may be helpful. Even if you don't think it works, maybe you should take a look at it or test it yourself. All right. If you don't want to use it, it's cool. Don't use it. I don't care. Don't care if you use it or not. All right. VS Programmer says, my emails show up in your Gmail's promotion tab. So what you can do is take the email and drag it over to your primary tab, drop it in there, and then it should figure out that it is something you want to get in your primary tab. That is just the way you got to do. You got to deal with Gmail, I guess. Alrighty. Oh, and Goss says KGR is working well for you. Thank you for the vote. Rajesh, thanks for hopping on. Rajesh says, what is the latest update on the KGR? Still working fine. And the latest update is you should go over to KWFinder, check out the guest post that I just published there, and leave a comment. Say, Leave your own opinions, right? You write whatever you want. If you think it sucks, you can write it sucks. Hopefully, if you use the KGR, you can say that it worked. Wayne says KGR works magic if you have a decent backlink profile. I got a cough here. Can I mute this thing? All right, that's better. And Shan says, how do you qualify a keyword competition-wise? Well, you can go have a look at the competitors, like literally. So you would Google the term, you would check out the competition. I advise you to look at the on-page and off-page factors for each of the competitors in the top 10, for example, and then you can make some sort of assessment. Various tools have different competitiveness type metrics out there. Some are garbage, some are great. And I think if you use that in conjunction, right, use those different factors in conjunction with the KGR, that can be useful. And next, all right, I think we'll finish up here quick, but I'll try and get through. Gaz says KWFinder always tells me it's too busy to test and is restricted to signed up members only. Oh, interesting. Well, I'm not sure how to help you there. I guess you got to sign up. Afzel says, if we have a keyword with competition 4, according to Moz, can we rank? So I don't know the Moz competition metric kind of situation, but can you rank? The answer is yes. But I don't think that's a very good question. Moving on, Papone says, I have some KGR over 250 search volume, but under 0.15. Now can I publish content? Sure. You know what? Yeah, you can do that. Sure. What you found is interesting, but it is not KGR. So I would advise you to go over to the KWFinder guest post and read that. It's pretty specific, and I think you'll find it helpful. Oh, Jaren's on. What's going on, man? Oh, thanks to the moderators, and I'm just gonna get through the questions before this degrades into random questions. Okay. KGR VS programmer says KGR works. Great. You're ranking in the first page within 2 months. Fantastic. Shah says, why don't we consider all in URL for KGR terms? Well, because I created it with all in title in mind, and I think it seems to be a little bit more accurate, but I've actually never compared. I think generally the title probably carries more weight than the URL directly. When you think about the click-through rate and what you see in the SERPs, I think just based on that, the title is more important. If you would like to try the URL stuff, that would be a great thing to test. Elms says you did a masterclass on Amazon affiliate, but not as useful to me as the few days I met. Thanks for being nice. Okay, thanks. All right. Next, Afzul says, I'm using KGR on my 2-month-old website with 0 backlinks. When can I expect results? Probably you should have seen some already. If you have not gotten any traffic, it means there's probably a mistake somewhere. Jaren says, did I already talk about the Fast Company article? Yes. And thank you for being self-aware, knowing that you can rewind. We're going to end this quick. Yeah, so I quickly talked about it. And next we have HMA Tech says, you really like the KGR in combination with the RPM. That's a research paper method. You would like to hear more on those techniques. Okay, well, this is the last question. I will give you a tip, and that is go to my blog, nichesiteproject.com. Find a way to search on there. All right, a little homework assignment. You can even Google it, but you could search for both the keyword golden ratio and the RPM on Niche Site Project, and you'll have the written word that you can review at your leisure. You should also search for both of those in YouTube search on my channel, and you will find probably at least a couple of videos, maybe more, for each one. All right. There's a lot of information already out there. Okay. All right. We got a couple more questions. I'll go ahead and answer them. All right. Richard says, if we cloak the Amazon affiliate links, we can't use one link, isn't it? Well, you can't cloak the links at all. So don't do that. It's against the terms of service. Adil says you got your first sale. You made $1. Awesome. Good job. Good job taking action. All right, cool. It looks like we answered all of the questions there. If I missed yours, I'm really sorry. Just wanted to hop in for a minute, say hello, everyone. Just quick announcements. Check out KWFinder guest post. Leave a comment if you can. Next week, I have 2 kick-ass, awesome interviews coming out with Ron Stefanski from the 1 Hour Professor. There's an hour interview. It's coming out Monday, and then there's an hour of just Q&A coming out on Thursday. Q&A, and we go back and forth. We just kind of chat. We have a good time just talking, and that's I'm probably gonna have Ron back on because we were just having a nice time chatting. So those are the couple things coming out next week. Additionally, 5-Figure Niche Site, my premium course, will be relaunching soon, so I'll probably talk about that a little bit more coming up. Additionally, I've published more blogs in the last couple of weeks written by audience members and students. So guys like Marty McLeod, he wrote one, published it recently. Graham Cook published that as well. So it's a fresher take on certain topics because I took a little time off. And I was like, these guys and there's some gals going to write some stuff for me as well. And it's just a way to get like fresh material out there from different case studies, from wildly diverse, different categories and niches, from different people who are doing things differently. And I think that's great. So anyway, thanks everyone for hopping on today, and we'll catch you next week. Everyone have a great weekend, and yeah, have a great weekend.